Happy holidays! Welcome to Hangin with Street Level Spirituality, hanging with your sign, and you're hanging out with me. I've got a name, but I don't talk about it. I'm Street Level Spirituality. Anyway, this is a lineup for the holidays for the month of December, and what we're going to do is check in with each other. How are you doing? I'm doing pretty good. I've just been chilling and doing my thing. I'm not sure what that is these days, but I'm 44 years old and I'm right in I've just passed through a lot of my midlife planets, so it's just a big change of direction for me, and I'm feeling pretty good because I've started doing things that are more in alignment with who I am, which is these readings, and I make music for fun, and I've been doing more stuff that's just more in tune with where I'm coming from and feeling better about everything. So that's good. New directions. How are you guys doing? Like always, there's tons of cycles with people and different things. If you have a Cancer ascendant, you're getting it really good. If you're a Capricorn, you're getting it really good. If you're a Scorpio, you just have a lot of good stuff moving through your sign. So there's just cycles for everything, and some things they come up and they go down. So whenever it's bad, don't freak out. It's going to get better. And whenever it's peaceful, don't worry, it'll get worse soon. So anyway, I've just been tuning into the energy, getting into the holiday spirit a little bit. And there's a lot of different vibes floating around. This will just be the general intro for the videos from an astrological point of view, and then we'll get into your personal readings per sign right after this. So anyway, this is my new jam right here. Oh yeah, this is my new, this new video setup. I'm not sure about it. It's got, I have a monitor behind me I'm looking at. The shadow from the light lingers on my head. So I'd have to move forward, I guess, to not do that. But I've been trying to create a setup that's simple and easy, that's not super complex. I have like all these like professional lights and stuff, but I'm just trying to use a single light. I don't know. And I switched cameras. I was just using my laptop camera, but I went back to my Blackmagic camera. What do you guys think? Is it okay? It's not supposed to be amazing, but anyway, and then I went to an onboard mic on the camera. So maybe there's a lot of room noise. I put a little holiday music in the background. Hopefully YouTube doesn't hose me. Anyway, and then this is my new jam. Yep, you saw it here first. One of my favorite things to do right now is to drink coffee at nighttime. Don't ask me why. When I get excited, it's all balanced, right? I don't know, it's okay. It looks okay. We'll check it out. And then I noticed this shirt too. It's like somebody grabbed my neck or something. I don't know. But anyway, so the holidays are coming. This is making me feel festive. So there's a lot going on. I have different cards that I use. And for the general vibe, I just wanted to get a general tone for everybody right now. And the message is, it's never too late to begin, even in an experience. For life and its experience is a continued and continuous effort. So I think it's the idea that sometimes in life we can, we look at it, if we look at things purely from a physical point of view, or in a modern day sense, science has really become the new god for a lot of people. And it kind of takes the magic out of things to a certain degree. And if we look at life only this way, then we focus on our mortality and we look at different ages as signposts of our impending doom, so to say. So what can happen is that at a younger time in our life, we can get excited and establish ourselves, establish our careers, and really get excited about exploring who we are as people and expressing that to the world. And then as we get older, it's not really till about 40 that you're fully developed. Your full psychic faculties are developed at 40 years old. So that's when you really, really, truly start to see things for what they are. And But often at that same time, it's a time in life where we're looking at our life and saying, oh, if it's a purely material view, we can look at life and say, oh, I'm getting older, and and we lose that kind of spark moving forward. So in mid-age, 40, that time period in our life, it's a really important time period to really reevaluate, get clear about who we really are, and really own our personal truth, and not hold on so much to the things that worked for us in the past. And look at life from a spiritual view. And a spiritual view, we hear this terminology all the time, but we don't always understand what it means. We get a general idea, but it's the idea that we have a soul, and that this soul is independent of the material world, and that it's something that its consciousness moves in and out of incarnations. And if that's the case, there's this concept or idea that the effort that we put into developing our talents, whether it's music or careers or detective work or accounting, whatever your thing is, learning to articulate yourself, refining your skill with your creative expression, whatever it might be, is that goes along with us into the next life. And if we look at things from that view, it takes away this kind of downtrodden angle about moving forward with new ideas and new directions. Just recently I've been rekindling this passion I have for making clothes. I've tried. It's hard. I don't know if any of you guys are sewers out there, but it's really hard. And I've made pants, I've made some shirts and stuff, but I get a little discouraged, and you need like specialty gear. But at my age, I'm like, maybe it's okay to explore new passions and new ideas I've never explored before. Maybe that's what I need more than ever right now. So anyway, so the general message for everyone right now moving into the holidays is just to hold this idea or this spirit of immortality, that our spirit's eternal. And that if that's the case, and we're checking in these different physical lifetimes and having these opportunities to learn and explore, to take advantage of those, no matter what age you are, and not see your life as this kind of ascending and descending opportunity, but as one consistent opportunity that moves into multiple lifetimes. And I think that changes our attitude, it changes our spirit, meaning like our quality of expression. And even though the physical body may pass, that we take full advantage of this lifetime that we have here and not see it as something in vain or that time is running out. So that's the spirit of Christmas I'm sharing with you guys this year. Happy holidays. So anyways, that's one tone that I picked up. And that ties in also with some of the astrological aspects that are happening this month. Because we have, let's see, what is it? It's, Jupiter leaving Sagittarius and moving into the sign of Capricorn. So Jupiter in Capricorn's a little out of its place. Jupiter's native sign is in Sagittarius. So it's been in Sagittarius, and usually Jupiter lasts about a year in a sign. And it brings good fortune, expands opportunities for that particular sign. Or aspects of your own chart that aspect Capricorn. So maybe you have a Capricorn moon, ascendant, or your Mercury aspects Capricorn. Whatever's aspecting Capricorn, you're going to see new expansion and new opportunities through the new year. So that's exciting. But that really helps with Jupiter, since Capricorn is all about establishing yourself and growing yourself in real practical, mundane matters like career and business and things like that. Jupiter is going to expand and create a lot of opportunity for you to focus on maybe starting your own business or things of that sort. Anything to do with career. So this overall message that we got at the beginning ties into that, in the sense that don't let age affect your ambitions and your spirit and your excitement to explore new opportunities, because this next year is going to really support that with Jupiter in Capricorn. So we have a full moon in Gemini on December 12th. And so it's going to be kind of an energy of wanting to kind of retreat and be jovial and connect with other people and talk and get introspective and reflective and just chit chat, you know, and have a playful chit chat with a group of people or a friend. It's that kind of energy. Let's see. And the other thing too is that, you know, there's, I'll get to that in a little bit. The full moon in Gemini also aspects Neptune, and Neptune is, I call it Planet Hollywood. It's the kind of energy that a screenwriter uses to imagine whole worlds and characters and all these things. So along with that kind of jovial, playful energy, there's a real deep intuitive and imaginative energy around that also. And that ties in really nice with Gemini, because Gemini likes to talk and chit-chat and have a good time. And with Neptune, there can be a lot of playful fantasy you know, again, how it's affecting your chart, aspecting your chart in particular will have unique effects. But in general, it's just a good, playful, imaginative time in the full moon area there. The other thing that's happening is we have Venus kind of, during this full moon, is Venus is situating itself right between Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn. And again, this, and of course, this is leading up to what I talked about in the last video series, which is the huge big event happening in January, which is Pluto and Saturn conjunct, which is going to be a big one for government and established institutions. You might see big secrets coming out in government. I talked about it in the last videos, but it's a good thing. It's a big thing we're ramping up for. But anyway, so Venus is kind of situating itself right between Saturn and Pluto, right leading up to this last month before that big interaction. And so, you know, Venus also, you know, it has a lot to do with material goods and love and expression and things of that sort. So during the holidays, kind of being right between this Pluto, Saturn, sandwiched in between the two, you know, there's many elements to it, but one aspect could just be to be mindful. I guess a practical aspect of it would be mindful with your Christmas shopping. That, you know, anything that you decide to do is thoughtful and mindful. And you know, something that came up for me is you know, the holidays, they bring up our values in a really big way. They bring up, you know, do we value family? Do we want to spend, you know, the holidays with family? Do we want to spend it on our own? Do we want to spend our money on junk? Do we want to take the time to think about each person in our lives that we are buying gifts for or creating a gift for, and think about their own personal spiritual growth and what they're going through on an individual level, and really take the time to meditate and reflect on what could best serve them in their spiritual growth? You know, it's just something to consider. And you know, it's a great time to reflect on your values before you take big action moving forward into the holidays, and how you want to approach gifts and what they truly mean to you, and what can you do to really truly share something from your heart and help somebody's growth on a personal level. So something else to think about. And then the last thing is, after that, Venus moves into Aquarius on December 20th, and then we have the solstice on December 21st, and that's when everything starts shifting, and slowly the days will be getting longer and all that crap. So anyway, so that's the general astrological outlook. Again, we're ramping up to this really, really big aspect in Pluto Capricorn conjunction in the middle of January. But so far for the month, it just looks like it's, you know, it's a time to be jovial, playful, connect with other people, and be imaginative and things of that sort. So it's really fun. So anyway, so that's it for the astrological aspect of this. And then here's your personal reading. What's up, Taurus? This is Hangin with Taurus, Holiday Edition, December 2019. And this is going to be the portion of the reading, portion of the program where you get your own personal tarot reading. And before we begin, I pulled an Edgar Casey card, which was gifted to me by my dear friend Heather. And the message that you have today is, don't feel sorry for yourself if you have chosen the wrong path. Turn around. And we don't have to worry about time. It was in the beginning of the video where we had that message that during the time of the holidays, it's really time to look at your spirit as being eternal and independent of the material world. If you study Gnostic teaching, which is the early pre-Christian beliefs and the beliefs around early Christianity, and read some of those books from the Nag Hammadi library and the Pistis Sophia, which I think was just rediscovered in like the 1700s, is it gives you really, really deep insight into Christian mysticism. And if you read those, it's pretty esoteric stuff, but from what I've gotten out of it is resurrection is this idea that what's never born never dies, and that our material bodies are born and pass, but the spirit within us never does. It's something that's eternal and exists independent of things. And when we just shift our perspective, all of a sudden everything completely changes. Our spirit changes, how we look at life changes. So if you find that you've reached a certain path or feel like you've wasted a number of years in a certain perspective and you're getting older, don't dread it. This is the spiritual work goes with us lifetime to lifetime. So this is the time to really celebrate, embrace that you can change directions at any time, and you can explore new career paths, you can do whatever you want. So anyway, keep that in mind. Let's reinvigorate the spirit. Let's not let this idea of our mortality, be this weight on our back through our entire lives. It's time to shed that and to really incorporate that spirit of who we are into every moment of our life, from the first day to the last of this particular material experience, knowing that everything that we invest in and refining our skills and who we are carry over from lifetime to lifetime eternally. It's liberating, and that's the spirit of the holidays. So anyway, Taurus, you have Uranus blasting through your sign for a number of years now, and a lot of sudden and abrupt changes. Taurus likes foundation security, and then you've got this planet that likes the exact opposite in there, blasting away and shaking things up. So you're going through a lot, and you're going to be going through a lot. And it also represents possible earth changes for us, economic issues, things of that sort, globally. So let's get into your tarot reading portion of the program. How are you guys doing? I love Tauruses. I always say this every reading. My daughter's a Taurus. I'm a Virgo. I don't know, man. It's just nothing better. Nothing better than Taurus, in my opinion. Grounded, beautiful, full of life. You need to be around flowers. You need to be around nature. You need to balance materialism, understanding that that's just a part of life, And again, that's another aspect of that Christmas message or that holiday message is, it's not just materiality. Materiality is for us to express our spiritual nature through in this world, and you've got a lot of beauty in that. But it's not our fundamental reality. It's more of a dream than it's our reality. So let's get into your reading here. Let's look at the nature. Let's see what's influencing it. Let's see what you have in your spiritual realms, what you have in your subconscious realms, what you have in your near past, what you have in your near future, your particular attitude about things, your environment, your hopes and fears, and then your outcome. So what we have here is the fundamental aspect of your reading is that you may have been going through a lot of trials and tribulations and a lot of struggles, a lot of mental struggles, and that you're at a point where you're turning a corner with it. You're starting to recognize the limitations of these challenges, and oftentimes the challenges that we face are challenges that really challenge our own attitude about things, right? So things around us may affect us in a certain way, and we have outer circumstances, but it's really the way that we view things, right? So one example is that as we get older, for instance, we may have had a childhood that was full of suffering or struggles and trials and tribulations, but as we get older, we have a tool belt that we develop that gives us new ways of looking at things. One example is is gratitude and forgiveness, right? Now we learn as we get older that having more patience and tolerance for people and gratitude is a gift that we give each other and that rewards us back. So when we look at the challenges in our lives, we can say, oh, like I'm being forced to have this challenging conversation with somebody, and instead of feeling disempowered or frightened by it, we see it as an opportunity for us to express our truth and also work on our patience and tolerance as we go through that process. So things turn into opportunities instead of frightful experiences, so to say. And then as we get older, we can utilize that tool belt to look back into other parts of our life when we were younger and see it for really what it was. And when you kind of redefine those experiences from your childhood, it transforms who you are now. It's like going back into the past, changing something, and then it changes your future. We can do this simply by taking our tool belt and going back and reflecting on times in our life that maybe are hurtful or painful and reevaluate them. Another example is kind of how we see our parents. You know, when we're younger, they could do no wrong, and you know they must be right. You know, and then as we get older, we're carrying all these pains from when we were younger. But as we can look back as we're older and look at our parents and say, oh my gosh, when I was 25, you know, I didn't know anything, you know, or you know, I was still somewhat of a child and underdeveloped. No wonder they treated me that way. No wonder they were impatient. You know, no wonder those things happen. We can kind of, you know, create our own peace just by changing our view on the past. So anyway, so that's part of it there. So what's influencing it? Okay, so we have some. There's this feeling of wanting to move forward financially. You have this this is deeply about resources. And, you know, a Taurus can get really troubled by resources because it's something that feels so innately fundamental. And as we move into the holidays and the spirit of the holidays, you know, it's time to really look at the issues regarding finances and whether or not that's really what is going to make us happy moving forward. So I'm sensing this obsession or impatience in regards to financial matters when, and we have to come to terms with that. We have to come to terms with it in the sense of that we have to recognize that it's not the totality of our experience, and that's not going to ultimately fulfill us. You know, maybe we want more money for the holidays than we have available to us, or we're pressuring others to provide that to us. So just keep your humanity in mind and always treat others the way you want to be treated and be sensitive in that matter. In the spiritual realms, we have this overcoming some major transition spiritually. There's some sort of your views regarding your spirituality are being transformed. You might be becoming more pragmatic, less story-driven, and more reality-driven in your spiritual views, if that makes any sense. In your subconscious realms, there's this you're really investing a lot in your craft and investing in what you are going to do to move forward in your craft and your career and what you're creating out in the world. So that's really beautiful. That means that you're taking the time to really take the natural beauty that you have and apply that, the Venusian beauty, into your craft and foundation, which makes perfect sense because we have Venus sandwiched right in between Saturn and Pluto during this new moon coming up on December 12th. And so the beauty of Venus is going to come to attention in regards to fundamental matters in regard to career, business, government, things of that sort, institutions and foundations. So you're really the ground floor of who you are as being transformed, and that beauty, the natural beauty of Venus is going to lend a lot of lubrication, so to say, to that process of transforming old beliefs and foundations regarding your structure, which can be, as we know, with like big government or any institution that's been around a long time, it can be really hard to change So keep focusing on beauty. You know, maybe you want to be a florist. Maybe you want to paint. Maybe you want to bring more beauty into the existing career that you have. Maybe it's something along those lines. So look at how you can insert beauty into what you're already doing, or maybe you want to make a total transformation, but this next year is going to support it. You've got Jupiter in Capricorn, which is going to just create all sorts of opportunities in career and beauty and expansion. So you're doing great. In the past, you're coming out of mental bondage. There was some, again, that's kind of like what I was picking up with the moon in reverse here as your primary card, is there's some sort of mental kind of rune or challenge that you move past, and you're acknowledging that these limitations are no longer serving you, and you're finding new ways to explore. And again, beauty, that's the word. Just use beauty as your mantra, beauty as your focus. How can I create more beauty that's of service to the collective, of service to a higher calling? And that can be your Christmas message. Coming up in the near future is you have the Hangman, life in suspension. So just a time to chill and relax and kind of reflect on this. And I think after all this mental turmoil, having time to relax and just focus on the little beautiful things in life, smelling the flowers, taking some time maybe to draw some Christmas cards this year instead of buying them. It could be a great meditation for you. But it looks like you're gonna have some time to just to chill and just kind of reconnect with that inner beauty that you are as Taurus. Your attitude in the matter is a lot of intuitive spiritual insight. There's a lot of reflectance on balance and creating balance in your life. And your environment is really releasing any sort of stubbornness in regards to sharing. There could be more opportunities, or more sharing shows up in your life as you share more. And I think that's another example. Instead of kind of holding this rigid view of like, I should have those resources, I should have those things, is just take the time to use that beauty as a springboard to really focus on giving this holidays, and not necessarily what you're getting or that shopping thrill or whatever that is like I said, I think a great exercise for you guys would be, I have this from my daughter, she's a Taurus, and what I got for her is, you can get them on Amazon, but it's a box of gift cards that are just blank. They're just white gift cards. And then you can get like a pen set or some paints. And then for every person in your life, take some time to think about how you're grateful for them and what that personal relationship is between the two of you, and make a work of art out of each card for every person in your life. And maybe just do one a day, do two a day in your personal time, and that'll give you a time not only to provide something that's personal and very mindful, but that creates the opportunity, much like journaling or any other kind of art in your personal life, that gives you time to get connected with yourself and your own creative gifts and your creative beauty. You're a Taurus, that beauty is much more powerful than materialism. And I think that's going to be really powerful for you. So your greatest hopes and greatest fears is that Taurus is, like I said, it's all about balancing materialism and beauty. So I think that there's a little bit of a fear that you're not going to be able to conquer this, or that you can't calm this aspect of yourself that is maybe more material based. And like I said, just take the time to invest in things that create that inner dialogue with yourself. Whatever it is, gardening, baths, painting, drawing, creativity, make that the focus, not the Black Friday deals and getting too carried away with that. Of course, we can utilize that, but we have to have a view of a value system and kind of what the purpose is behind what we're doing, and not just run out there and get kind of obsessed with all of the mucky muck of the holidays in the materialistic sense. And the outcome is I have the Ace of Pentacles, and that is it's in reverse in this case. And what I'm seeing here is that you're getting the gift, you're getting the big vision from the universe. It's coming to you. The hand of God is coming out of the sky and handing it to you. But it's the invisible coin. It's the value, the inner value. It's the true value. And it's like there's this whole view that what's truly of value is invisible, right? So, we have the material world, but what's truly of value is the invisible. It's how you feel, right? It's the things that really matter are really, you don't necessarily see. It's your creative thinking. It's the vision that we have towards something. It's our value system, which creates our character. These are all invisible things, and these are all the things that really affect the soul in the long run. And the true investments are invisible. They're things that we can take with us in the spiritual realms, not the material realm. So the hand of God is coming down and handing it to you, but it's the values of the invisible world. So hopefully that makes sense. It's just all about taking the innate value of being a Taurus, the beauty, and applying that in a manner that helps circumvent any sort of materialism or any kind of obsessive type energy during the holidays, and taking that quiet time, making the hot apple cider, making the herbal tea, sitting down, drawing a card, and taking care of yourself and creating that beautiful environment for yourself so you can really embody the true spirit of the holidays and Christmas. All right, I hope this has helped. Love you guys. Take care and happy holidays.